This is Pete from 21st Century Prepper. I'm here with Skip.
Hi, everybody.
And Robin.
Hello.
And Tony.
Hello, everybody.
Tonight's podcast will be admin prep tips of the week. I'm going to be discussing winterizing your home, since we're having a little cold spell here in the U.S. and Canada, I guess. Everybody's kind of wondering what they should do in areas of the country that don't get too cold very often. One of the first things you could do if you have ceiling fans is reverse the fan so it turns clockwise. That helps bring the heat down from the ceiling to the floor area, because heat rises, so your ceiling is going to be a little warmer than your floor. Next is make sure all your windows are closed and locked. Even a little bit of draft with the window not being locked is going to make a difference. If you still have some drafty windows, they have insulator kits, the film that you put over the windows. It's not the most wonderful looking thing in the world, but it does help stop the drafts. You can also put towels along the window too if you have a draft on the bottom. Then, very important is at least maybe once a year, if not twice, every 2 years, get a furnace inspection. Make sure it's working properly. And also replace your filters at least once a year, if not more often, depending on if you have pets and that kind of stuff, how dirty your filters get. Make sure all your doors, the trim is good to help cut down on drafts. Okay, now to keep your water pipes from freezing, which has been a hot topic this week, if you can, wrap your pipes with insulation. They sell pre-cut pipe insulation. Get a water heater blanket so your water heater isn't working overtime to keep the water warm. Keep your cupboards open in like your bathroom or your kitchen. That way the warm air from the room can go into where the pipes are, and that would help a little bit. Also run your hot water frequently, and also let it drip. If it's like overnight, just let a faucet drip, or multiple faucets drip. Okay, next is Skip.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tonight I'd like to talk about space heater safety. With temperatures below normal across most of the country, more and more people are turning to some sort of auxiliary heat to keep themselves warm. Snowfall isn't helping with power outages and tree limb damage, so a lot of people are going to generators and using space heaters and things like that. It can all lead to a recipe to disaster. Sadly, we've had at least 3 tragedies this week here locally where houses have caught on fire, people have died because of improper heater use. So here are my tips. Number 1, make sure your space heater is plugged directly into the wall. Never use a power strip. Never use a little 3-prong extension cord. That's a bad idea. They heat up, they cause fires. Make sure it's plugged into a heavy gauge extension cord if you have to go to a generator for power outages. Don't go into an outlet that's plugged off of a transfer switch or a dead man's cord or something like that. That is a recipe for disaster. Keep anything that can burn a minimum of 3 feet away. Keep a 3-foot pad so that children can't get near a heater. They can get very hot and cause severe burns. Never run a power cord under carpet, period. I don't care if it's a heater or anything else, but especially with the heater. If you have to leave your home, I know you want to come back to a nice warm toasty house, but make sure you turn it off. Something can happen, a pet can knock it over. And on the same idea, never place a heater on a countertop or table. Everybody's seen cats knock plates off. It happens. Some of these heaters are very cheaply made. It can create a fire. Fuel heaters and generators. They create a silent and deadly issue, and that's carbon monoxide. Any heat source that burns fuel creates carbon monoxide, period. Be it your stove, be it a kerosene heater, an LP gas heater. Make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector. Just last year, a family of 6 went to sleep burning a kerosene heater here, and they never woke up the next morning. I suggest that at least everybody get 1 carbon monoxide detector, possibly 2 depending on the layout of your house. And while we're talking about that, make sure you check your smoke detectors, change any weak batteries, and make sure that everything's right. If for any reason you can't afford a smoke detector, go to the fire department. Most cases, they can help you out with one or give you a coupon for one at Home Depot. With that, I'm going to say everybody stay safe, stay warm, have a happy new year.
Okay, on to Robin.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk today about making sure that you are able to travel around in your area for whatever reason during an emergency. With the crazy weather that we've been having and experiencing in various places, there are sure to be some power outages. When it comes to travel these days, everybody more or less relies on their GPS devices, which are great when the power is up and running. Sometimes your phone might die, or you just might not even have access to your cell phone network. So my tip of the week is to make sure that you take the time to invest in a paper map of your area. You can, if you have a printer, you can definitely print one of these out for your area. My tip would be to go to a AAA or even a local realtor to get a more detailed map of the area. They're extremely handy if main roads are shut down, or perhaps you might even get a notice from the emergency system in your area of where to go. They might be clogged or they might be busy, but the maps will give you an alternative route. Additionally, if you are the person in your group, and say your family or your group of friends who knows the area the best, let's say you're not maybe in the proper mindset to navigate somewhere. Someone else can take the map, take the wheel, and you guys can get to where you need. Another thing, speaking of being able to get to where you need to go with the weather the way it is, if it's too cold in your area, you may not be able to prepare for it properly, take a look to see if there's any libraries that are open. In my area, libraries have been being open all night to allow people to come in for a nice place, warm place to sleep for the night. So those are my 2 tips. Make sure you get a map, and if you need a warm place to go, check out what's in your local area.
Okay, thank you, Robin. Okay, Tony, how about you?
All right, good afternoon or good evening, everybody, depending on where you guys are at. I just want to talk to you about preparing your vehicle for winter. One thing you want to do, even in the summer, always make sure your vehicle is properly serviced. In the winter, make sure you get your antifreeze tested. Make sure all your fluids are good to go. Go ahead and get your heating system checked. It's also a good idea to get your coolant system checked. Sometimes those things get clogged up, and again, if your antifreeze isn't the par, it's going to clog up and your vehicle is going to overheat. Make sure that your tires have good tread on them. Make sure that they have proper amount of air in there. Even if it's a couple pounds light in the summer, that can turn into 5 or 6 pounds lighter in winter weather, especially in the north where you have -20, -30 degree weather. Aside from having your vehicle properly serviced and maintained, you're going to make sure that you have a proper kit with you. This might include some stuff you might not typically have, such as traction mats or Max Trax is a nice product I like to have. You can probably find a lot of those on Jeepers websites. You're also going to make sure you have some kind of bag with you where you have additional clothes, change of socks. I like to have a change of socks. If you get stuck in the ditch and you have to get out of your vehicle for some reason and you get snow in your boots, that snow is going to melt. Your socks are going to get wet. You don't know how long you're going to be there waiting to get help. The best thing to do is if you do get stuck in a ditch is do not leave your vehicle. Stay with your vehicle with your hazard lights on. I personally added a couple things in my bag that a lot of people don't have. I have bought dryer vent cords in the event that I'm stuck in a ditch with a lot of snow. I put those around the vehicle's exhaust and vent them up. If your vehicle's exhaust is clogged, your vehicle will stall, and now you're in a cold vehicle waiting for help. The last part is if you intend to keep water, just remember to take that out with you every single night if you're in places that have sub-freezing temperature. If you do get dehydrated in the vehicle, you're not going to want to eat snow. That is actually going to be more harmful for your body. Your body's going to have to work harder to warm that snow up, and it's not going to be beneficial to you. If you keep food with you and you don't have a way to cook it in your vehicle, which is a whole nother topic we'll hit on later, you're going to want to make sure that you have food that you can eat, whether it's cold or hot, both. I guess that kind of wraps up vehicle preparation. Thank you.
And that concludes today's 21st Century Prepper podcast. Thank you for tuning in.